Hello, and welcome to the IEQ Video Network. My name is Paul Cochran, and today we are interviewing Brian McFarland from Legends Environmental Insurance Services and Jody Thomason from EMSL Analytical to talk about how the new RRP lead regulations affect your insurance and how you can test for lead during projects. On April 22nd of 2010, new federal rules dealing with lead poisoning went into effect. Thousands of environmental contractors, professionals, painters, and others who deal with properties across the country have been affected. Now, when performing renovations, repairs, and painting projects that disturb lead-based paint in homes, child care facilities, and schools built before 1978, contractors must, by law, be certified and follow specific work practices to prevent lead contamination. The new regulations, known as the Renovation, Repair, and Painting Rule, or RRP, requires renovation firms to be certified, individuals to be trained in lead-safe work practices, and that training providers be accredited by the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA has the authority to seek civil fines and additional criminal fines, plus jail time for knowingly and willfully violating the RRP requirements. Let's see what Jody and Brian have to say.
Hi, this is Brian McFarland with Legends Environmental Insurance. As you've learned today, the new lead laws has serious impacts on the work that's being performed around the country. This is obviously having serious impacts on how it affects your insurance, for that matter. Today we're going to look at what's commonly known as the general pollution exclusion or the total pollution exclusion, and how lead is included in that and what you might do to ensure that risk. Pollution has been excluded from most policies since the early 80s. Today we're going to review a common pollution exclusion endorsement found on most general liability policies. Today I'm going to just go through a little bit of the standard ISO pollution exclusion form found on most general liability policies. I'm just going to go through the parts that pertain to us within this situation. But let me start by going over the exclusion applies to bodily injury or property damage arising out of the actual, alleged, or threatened discharge, dispersal, seepage, migration, release, or escape of pollutants. Now that's a pretty broad statement, but let's see how that pertains to us. That would be true at or at any premises, site, or location in which any insured or any contractors or subcontractors working directly or indirectly on any insured's behalf are performing operations. If the operations are to test for, monitor, clean up, remove, contain, test, detoxify, or neutralize, or in any way respond to or assess the effects of pollutants. As you're finding out today, the way that the law majorly affects us as contractors, or you as contractors rather, is that from this point forward we are to assume that lead is present in any structure built before 1978. And we are to take the containment, or take the protocols and contain as if lead, or set up containment as if lead was there. As we just reviewed within the pollution exclusion, is if we're taking any steps to assume that it's there, or to take the containment to assume that it's there, that's going to be excluded from your general liability policy. The only way to actually cover this exposure is to add contractor's pollution liability to include lead, or lead as an exposure. There's going to be lots of policies that come on the market from this, and some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad. When you're looking at these policies, one thing to look at is the contractor's pollution liability that I'm buying just specific to lead, or does it cover all my exposures? There's going to be policies on the market that may come out for lower limits, let's say $250,000 limits, and a lot of those policies are just going to be lead specific. And there's going to be policies that come out that maybe include all the other exposures, possibly asbestos, or if you were to contaminate the area in any site. And those policies are typically going to have $1 million limits or higher, and typically cost a little bit more. Really working with your agent to understand exactly what your risks are, and how you can cover not only this lead exposure but all your other pollution exposures is going to be important to make sure that if you're setting up or complying with this law, that your insurance is set up to comply with this law as well. If you have any questions, feel free to call us at Legends Environmental Insurance. Our direct line is 800-992-6999, and they'll be passing out pamphlets, or brochures will be available at the end of the training session you're in today. Thanks again for your time, and we'll look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Jody Thomason with EMSO Analytical, and I'm here to talk to you today about some of the testing methods for the new lead RRP regulations. One of the new lead RRP recommended devices is the lead check swabs. They're very simple to use. You simply squeeze. This cracks the capillaries inside, activating the liquid. You swab the area of question, and if it turns pink or red, there's lead. For laboratory confirmation of any field test positive, please feel free to contact any of our over 30 laboratory locations across the U.S. and Canada, which will help assist you in any of your environmental needs.